Homelander season 4. The Boys. Season 4
yes,
just dropped. Have you checked it out yet?
I've watched every episode out so far. I actually plan on watching the new one out when it releases.
See, I haven't checked out The Boys. I've seen maybe 2 episodes. I've seen the clips on TikTok. I've seen some breakdowns, but I've not seen the show itself.
Yeah, me and my roommates have made it like our little get-together show. Like it was between that and the newest Justice League. We kind of
There's a Justice League show?
I'm not Justice League. Yeah, Suicide Squad. The last one that came out.
Suicide Squad show?
I believe so. The one with John Cena.
Oh, Peacemaker?
Yeah. Not the show Peacemaker, but the one with Peacemaker in it.
Oh, I thought you were still continuing your line of thought of like shows that we sit down and watch.
No, I mean that's like Justice League and The Boys were shows that we like got together and watched.
But I heard a little bit ago that conservatives were up in arms because they thought Homelander was the good guy. Now, let me say something real quick. I didn't believe that. I didn't actually think conservatives thought Homelander was the good guy. I saw articles of people writing that they thought this way, but I never saw a conservative enjoy The Boys and say Homelander was a good guy. Did you see any of that?
It would not surprise me if that was the case for any conservative that hadn't seen the show, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think a conservative fan ever said Homelander was the good guy. However, season 4 dropped, and now I'm seeing conservatives saying, why are they poking fun at us? Why are they making fun of Trump? Why are they making fun of what's going on? And I'm like, oh, now I believe that some of you dumb fucks didn't realize Homelander was the bad guy.
Yeah, they told themselves right then and there. The show for most of the season has been shitting on Homelander, and that's if you thought he was the good guy, and I mean the show as a whole. If you thought he was the good guy, it's just nah.
It's a big red flag on your part. I haven't seen the show, but the breakdowns I've seen, everything I've seen with Homelander, calling A-Train a fat fuck, telling Huey to his face or asking him, oh, is she good in the sack? Is she good in bed, brother? Fuck you. Fuck him. And just the whole aura around him, he's obviously the bad guy. That's why I couldn't bring myself to believe that conservatives actually thought he was the good guy. Then this season drops and they're bitching about how it's making fun of him. And I'm like, what?
I feel like there had to have been some truth to conservatives thinking that Homelander was a good guy.
Maybe.
There's no way. Because, I mean, especially if they didn't say that, there'd be no reason for them to come out now and be like, why are they painting him like a piece of shit?
Why are they making a joke on Trump's slogan? But I bring this up. Media literacy. It's a topic that I've delved into every now and then. And let me tell you something. I'm not that keen in terms of the media literacy skill, right? I'm just not. Uh-huh. I watched American Psycho. Have you seen American Psycho?
No.
Okay. Everybody says it's Christian Bale's best movie. I thought it was good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I'd watch it again. I'd buy it. But I watched like breakdowns of it, and they're talking about like they're breaking down the business card scene, and they're talking about how everybody looks and acts and eats the same and talks the same. And I was like, I didn't notice that. There's a lot of messages that just went shh.
That's when you got to watch it again for clarification to see all the little details.
But like that song's shows, like I pick up a lot of the messages now, but even then a lot of the shit flies over my head. So I can say that my media literacy skill is definitely not at a 99. It's at like a 5 right now. All right.
Well,
but I'm not fucking stupid enough to start bitching that this show that is obviously satire of my side is now making fun of me. I'm not that fucking stupid.
I mean, okay, on the opposite end of your spectrum here, I've been into like graphic design forever, and I was like editing videos and such, so I took into account some of those facts, like the little things you do to amplify the scene. And that's how it's kind of ruined me for watching movies, because that's how I go into watching a movie. And sometimes I find myself like, they could have shot this scene so much better or something along those lines. Yeah. So that's how I've always gone into movies since getting into graphic design. So a lot of the times I do miss some of those things, but I kind of always on the lookout for it. So it really pains me that people actually thought that
I'm easy to
Homelander's good and they're making fun of him.
See, I'm easy to please, right? I just finished watching the original X-Men trilogy. X-Men, X2, X-Men The Last Stand, and I watched First Class again today, and it's still the best X-Men movie that I've ever seen. And it clears every single other one. Unless you put like Logan or it's better than Deadpool. Nah, is it better? It's better. It's
Deadpool's
close.
Like a funny movie. I can't really stand on whether it's good or not. But like, okay.
But I'm saying with the original X-Men trilogy, I delved into the conversation people have around it, and apparently they're like, The Last Stand is dog shit, and all the movies are pretty bad. And I sat back and I was like, outside of the second one being way too long, the second one, no spoilers. X2. The second one, there was a point where you're like, oh, the movie's wrapping up. Movie's got like 10 minutes left, right? Mm-hmm. I press up on my remote control, and there's still like another 45 minutes. And I was like, what? Why? But like, I'm easy to please in that way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I hate, and this is the first little rant we're going to go on. I was debating on whether to keep it kayfabe or not, but this is the first little rant that we're going to go on. I hate you pretentious, entitled fucking virgins that can't get over yourselves, that complain when people just enjoy superhero movies and don't want to go watch a fucking 1940 French film to enjoy movies. What the fuck is wrong with you? Shut the fuck up. I fucking hate people like that, dude. Now, if you're in the business where you want to talk movies, then it's a valid criticism when you're like, oh, fucking Once Upon a Time in Hollywood wasn't that good, but my favorite movie of all time is Avengers Age of Ultron or whatever. Then it's like, okay, let's reel it in. But just the casual viewer, if I go up to you and I'm like, hey, I loved Avengers Endgame, and you go, have you ever seen Schindler's List? Fuck you. Eat a dick.
I'm glad I haven't met that person. I mean, the only person I know that's done anything like that was an ex-friend of mine, and we were going around telling each other his favorite movies and stuff. Like, mine was Fox and the Hound. On VHS. I remember that one. And everybody just had their own, obscure favorite movie. And this dude comes in, he's like, Interstellar. I'm like, all right, bro.
If that's your favorite movie, just say it's your favorite movie. Don't be a fucking cunt about it. I'm going to try to level out on the swearing, but this thing pisses me off. I hate people thinking you're better than someone just because you enjoy a specific art form more. Mm-hmm. It's so stupid. You are so thirsty for power and for something to be right about. Something to be better than someone at.
Yeah. Keep in mind, this is not the smartest guy in the world. And he's just like, yeah, I really agreed with the theories that were shown in the movie. And I was just like, bro, what? What?
Oh, the Interstellar of like wormholes and shit?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Because they did some special shit about the black hole especially, and he was trying to make it seem like he was smart. So it's just like, all right, bro.
See, I pictured you as some fucking frat boy of like, I'll show you a black hole. Just get up on the couch and just moon him.
I don't think I would do that, but
that's why I said the frat boy version of you. They're like, I got him, bro. I showed him my open asshole. I got him. Let's move on to one of your topics. I think we milked this dry.
One thing I hate is really social media. Like, you ever just, scroll through to enjoy, laugh at something or whatever, and, you comment how you liked it. Sure, comment how you don't like it. Fine. But then I see people that are like, actually, this is factually incorrect. You shouldn't be doing this or something along those lines. And I see people like start digging at each other in the comments. It's just like, bro, you didn't have to do all that.
See, I caught myself doing that one time. Some dude made a joke. I think it was in a Fitz video. He made a joke about like getting his friend's Xbox if he kills himself. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's a joke. It's a joke. But he said, oh, do you have the new God of War? Oh, fuck. And in my head, I was like, God of War is a PlayStation exclusive. But as soon as that thought came out, I was like, shut up. Do not turn into him. Don't be him. The fuck?
It's really prevalent on like animal videos. Like I saw one earlier and I was like, there's no way anybody could be mad about this. Because people, if you show your animal on social media and it's doing something that isn't normal, I guess, average, people will shit on you that you're like hurting the animal or this, that, whatever. And I saw this video earlier and it was like when a stubborn puppy won't go home. And the mom handed the leash to their other dog, who then dragged the shit out of that dog.
That's funny.
And I was like, I wonder what the comments will say. And surprisingly, I was just like, there's nobody in here that's like, you shouldn't be doing that to a dog. They were all like, well, it's not a problem if the mom does it.
See, that's why I'm scared to post like my dogs playing, because the way my dogs play is they nip each other's necks and just growl at each other. Now, you've seen Opie.
Yeah.
Opie's this big ass black lab Napoleon Mastiff mix. And his growl is deep and it's raspy. And then you have little 1-year-old Maybelle, who's a basset hound. And it's so fucking cute what she does. Because he'll like growl and play with her. And then you'll just hear her go, ah, ah. trying to puff up. And I know the dude is just like, stop.
That's what my Westie did to my German Shepherd. My German Shepherd, as a puppy, was bigger than my Westie, and the Westie would put him down if he ever got annoyed.
But no, that's why I never delve into comment sections anymore. Sometimes it's hilarious. Like my lady sent me a video of this drunk guy stancing up this guy who cut him off in line. The dude is like facing straight forward. Guys behind him just going, right? That comic section is full of funny ass jokes. So I'll scroll through those. But anytime it involves an animal, a sport, a politician, a celebrity, it's a whole bunch of nosy, no life, basement dwelling, miserable sacks of shit. I'm a miserable sack of shit, right?
Yeah. No,
but
politics.
I don't stoop as low to get in a fucking comment section, stick my nose where it doesn't belong, and get in an argument with someone I will never see in my life. I slip up sometimes, but most of the time.
When it annoys you too much. Nah, but I never do, because it's just like, it's not worth it. For one, I don't know this guy, and there's no reason for me to be arguing with him. I can just think what I want to think. And then politics just gets bad on social media because people are shitting on each other for liking another presidential candidate, I guess.
Or just not liking the one they're voting for.
Yeah. And it's just
I don't know how many. Devil's advocate, I get it. I don't like people that say like, oh, just vote for whoever you want. We still got to go to work. It's like, Yeah, but we live in the country that person holds a lot of power of. So I get why people are real passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're out here like doxing people, telling people to off themselves unless they're doing something wild, if you're out here doing shit like that, you're miserable. You're a loser.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous, I guess. Because it's just like, sure, you can vote whoever you want to vote for. And yes, they do have a lot of power. But rarely ever does it affect the individual on the scale that it's at.
How do you mean?
Like, I keep going back to like economics, even though it's not the same thing, but it's like macroeconomics versus microeconomics.
Okay.
It's basically on that same scale that whoever's president's not affecting you personally.
So I can see what you're saying because, I've been an adult through Trump and through Biden, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, a adult by myself for like a year of Trump and all of Biden. And I can say that my lifestyle hasn't changed that much. Of course, I made some like changes, but nothing to do with who the fuck is in office.
There were changes, but I didn't notice them.
It's like, I don't know, fucking gas prices or grocery prices or shit like that. Like, that's obviously going to be... And even then, it's a much deeper conversation than just... The president, I said he's got a lot of power, he does, but the president is the quarterback of the football team. No matter what happens, he's either going to get praised for everything or blamed for everything. Yep. And it's even worse than a quarterback because that dude will get blamed for some shit four presidents down fucked up, and it's just taken into effect now.
Yep.
You don't see Patrick Mahomes getting blamed for the dumb shit Trent Green was doing,
Exactly. And like you said, like I've been an adult on my own for like probably 2 years of Trump and all of Biden, and my lifestyle hasn't changed at all.
The only major change, and even then it wasn't that major because we live in Tennessee, and Tennessee pretty much said mask mandate. It's optional. You got to go to work with a mask on, but everywhere else, please wear it. But that's what Tennessee was. So even during the pandemic, it wasn't that big of a change.
Exactly.
Like, I heard people wearing gloves in public, and I was like, gloves? I never got told to put on gloves.
Neither did I.
I walked into plenty of stores maskless, and nobody said a word.
That's your fault. Yeah, no. No, I did.
Oh, you fucking irresponsible piece of shit.
Yeah.
But listen, politics ran by a bunch of old fucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of old fucks. You know who I hate?
What?
Old fucks. Who? I fucking hate old people. Don't worry. I think
funny because I witnessed an old lady almost run a red light and hit a truck right in front of me yesterday.
And I would have been clapping. Fucking hit her driver door. But, I mean, we already discussed what I feel about my great grandmother, okay? I made the comparison to Old Yeller for a reason. Godly, some of my family members listen to this. Please know I don't mean a single word of what I'm saying. I love that old woman to death. Rest in peace. Let's get right into the news, okay?
All right. Okay, Keemstar.
But no, I was sitting in Walmart with my lady, and it was early in the morning. Mm-hmm. We were grocery shopping, trying to get it out the way. Now, early morning, there's not a lot of people there working. Mm-hmm. It's the morning shift, right? This old dude came up and was behind us, and we were in the self-checkout area, right? And he was talking to the lady. He was like, "Which one of these are cash?" And the lady was like, "None of them are cash. We don't have any cash registers open." He's like, well, they should be. And she was like, "Oh, well, they're not. Nobody's here to work them." And he was like, well, hire people. And she was like, we do. They're just not here. And he fucking stomped away like a toddler. And she has so much more patience than I do, because I would have looked at him and the first thing I would have said is, it's 2024. What the fuck are you doing with cash in your wallet? Who the fuck carries cash? You're grocery shopping with cash? If you got a $20 bill and want like a pizza from Walmart, fine, cool. But you got like $200 worth of stuff and you're paying with cash? This ain't 1942.
Ooh, carrying the cash. You don't trust banks.
You don't trust. Yeah. Okay, fair. I retract my statement.
No. Old people get me too, because when I work at a big box retailer, not big box, but like wholesale, right?
Yeah.
And I get stopped by a couple old people when I was on my way to doing something, probably nothing. I don't know. I walk around a lot because there's nothing for me to do sometimes. If you're my boss and you heard this, no, you didn't. Anyways, they stopped me and they're like, hey, how do I do this app thing to get this discount? And I was like, do you have the app? I don't know.
I don't know.
Holy
shit.
So I was like, okay, well, first you'll need to download the app. Well, how do I do that? You're rocking with the Samsung Galaxy 2024. Whatever the fuck that phone was. I forget.
Samsung Galaxy S7. I know that was like 15 years ago, but fuck it. That's what he was walking around with.
No, he was walking around with a new one. And I'm just like, okay. Well, where's your app store? I don't know. Then they handed me their phone. And I was just like, I'm glad you trust me like that.
I want to remind you that these are the same people that start bitching about, oh, these young people, they don't know how to write cursive. They don't know how to ride a horse.
Yep.
Meanwhile, you're standing in line with your phone. It's so fucking simple. It's so
for like 10
everything
minutes.
is right there. It's right there, and it says it under what it is.
Yep. I stood there for 10 minutes trying to help them get the app downloaded. Turns out they did have the app. Opened up the app, and I was like, okay, well, you'll need to sign in. Oh, we haven't made an account. Okay, well, here, register your account number, which is on your card, and it'll pull up your account. You can add in your email or whatever. And like, could you do it for me? I can't read the letters. I don't have my glasses. Okay. So I type in their account stuff, and they already have an account.
Oh my God.
I was like, well, it says you already have an account, so just sign in with that. I don't know which email it's tied to. How many emails do you have? Just the one. I was like their grandkid trying to teach them how to use their phone.
Dude, right now you just made me feel the same way I feel when I go home and my brother says something like skibbity riz. I just stare at him going.
And I was like, I wanted to tell them so bad to get their kids to download and do all this for them. And I'm sure they already have, which is why they don't know the password or the email or anything. And after 10 minutes, I was like, I'm sorry, but I just can't help you anymore.
I'm sorry, you are making me want to bash my head into this wall. Could you please leave me alone?
They were like, well, thanks anyways for trying to help. And I was like, yeah, no problem. It took so much patience to not be like, bro, you're not doing it. It's not happening.
See, the most famous story I have when dealing with old people at a job, I worked overnight at a gas station for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Old dude comes in looking about 60 years old, and he goes immediately to the beer section, right?
Yep.
Now he's looking, and I'm guessing his son or whoever said, hey, Pops, White Claws are pretty good. You should try them. So he grabs a case of White Claws. This case of White Claws is $25. Mm-hmm. Okay? I forget how many are in there. White Claw is expensive anyway.
If it's $25, it's probably a 12 or an 18 pack. I only know that because I work retail.
This dude doesn't look at the price. Just grabs it because he's like, my son said this is good. So grabs it, brings it to the desk, and we have a cordial conversation first, right? He sets it on there and I scan it. I'm like, all right, $25.87, whatever it was. And he goes, huh? Whoa. What'd you say? $25.87. And he takes a $50 bill out of his wallet. Again, this was 2020. What are you doing walking around with cash in your wallet? You will get robbed. Even if you're in a safe neighborhood, you will get robbed. People will find out. But dude throws $50 at me, and I just look at it, and I'm like, all right. Something to know about this gas station. We might have a whole episode on this gas station because my manager doesn't put up with bullshit. He looked us the day I was hired. He was like, this ain't a fucking customer's always right. Don't sass the customer. If someone's giving you shit, give them shit. I fucking hated when people, I know this is a little side. So we're taking the old man story. We're putting it right here for a second. Let me grab this, put it on your plate right now.
All right, gotcha.
Fucking hated when people would just throw money on the desk. Especially when it was coins and I had to slide them off. I fucking hated it.
It's disrespectful.
And then sometimes regulars would come in to do that. So I would offer up my hand immediately after I tell them a price, and they would place it next to my hand. And it would take everything in my fucking power not to magically grow Wolverine claws and slash this motherfucker over the counter. Holy shit. That to the side. Realize it, because that's disrespectful. Don't do that.
That's disrespectful, yeah.
So I get his change. And I throw it onto the box. I don't hand it to him. I throw it. And he goes, oh! And mind you, there is a line of about 4 people behind him. And he's like, oh, it's like that? And I'm like, yeah. You paid. Take your change and get out of the store. And he was like, you can't disrespect me like that. And I was like, I could do whatever I want. I work in this store. And I looked at him and I was just sipping, because we got a free drink. I was just sipping my drink. And he finally grabs the White Claw and storms off, opens the door, turns back to me, and he just goes, you! British cigarette. You! Word that I'm kind of confused if I can use or not. It's in LGBTQ. It's the Q in LGBTQ, but I'm not going to say it. Said that! Just screamed it in the store. And my first thought was, you just called me gay twice. Does that mean you called me straight? Is that a double negative in your eyes? Nothing wrong with being gay. But he called me gay twice. You couldn't. That dude's pissed.
No. Okay.
I started helping the next person, and I guess this dude just sat and steamed in his car. Fucking, this motherfucker not gonna disrespect me. Walks back in the store. And just, I don't remember what he said. I just remember words, voice. And this is back when the shields were up. So he was just poking at the plexiglass, screaming at me, and then slammed his hand on the counter. And I just had my drink going. You done? Dude, these motherfuckers want to talk about, I'm sorry, I'm talking so much. I promise the last thing we're going to say. Continue. Motherfuckers want to talk about, this young generation just wants everything handed to them. Oh, you liberal snowflakes getting triggered over anything? Watch these motherfuckers at stores, fast food places, anywhere where a financial transaction is happening. God, they're going to bitch and moan about any inconvenience.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to transition from your old people statement to just
sorry I kind of dominated
people.
that.
No, you're cool. I just don't like people. Like, when I worked at Staples many moons ago, I was working at the checkout, and this group of people, this family, I should say, they walked up to purchase something. It was like $50 worth of shit.
Right.
I'm like, okay, cool, $50. And then they start reaching in their wallet, and they bypass all of their cards. And I'm like, okay, cash. Those motherfuckers pulled out rolls of quarters. And not like the rolls that the bank hands you. Like I think it's $10 in quarters they'll hand you in a roll. They were self-made rolls taped together with like scotch tape.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
For the whole $50. And I'm thinking, fuck you, because there's 4 people behind you and I'm the only one working the register. And I have to sit here and count every quarter. And immediately I'm just like, that's not enough quarters off the top. They keep coming. More quarters. I'm just like, did you just bring a bag full of taped quarters? And they did. It was a sandwich bag.
See, I heard this great story, and this is what you got to hit them with, okay? You got to hit them with, get out of the store. I'm not doing that.
If only I could. My manager was across the way, and then she was just like, and then she opened up another register and took everybody else.
A podcast I'm going to recommend to you and recommend to y'all, you know, Red Light Homies, of course.
Of course.
But Your Stupid Opinions. Jimmy Wisman, James Petrogallo. James tells a story about his favorite pizza place back in New York.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pizza place, but also makes sandwiches, right?
Yeah.
Dude walks in and says to the guy who runs the store, hey, I would like a chicken Parmesan sandwich with mayonnaise. And the owner looks him in the eyes and says, that's disgusting. I'm not making that. And the guy was like, but I came in here for a second. And he was like, yeah, I know. I'm not making that. Pick something else or get out of the store. That's what we got hit him with. If someone wants to walk, listen, for anybody who hears that story is like, well, what do I do with my coins? Go to a Walmart and go to the Coinstar machine. It will give you cash for your coins.
Mm-hmm.
Do not pull that bullshit. I promise there's enough quarters in here. Fuck you. I'm never working retail again. But I swear to God, I would look them dead in the face, grab the item, put it next to me and say, get out of the store. We're not doing this.
I'm so glad I don't work the registers at my place now because I know, for one, it's a paid membership to shop at the place yearly, right? So I don't want any of those pretentious fucks
no.
to check out because I watched a lady one day. She ordered, for one, I didn't realize I was going to do this for her, but she asked for help loading some drinks into a cart. Cool. She's getting a lot, so I'm assuming it's for her business. She had me push that all the way up front while she followed. And then when she got up to pay, I was like, I'm going to be nice and help her load it into her vehicle, since of course she couldn't get it into her cart. She sat there for 10 minutes trying to figure out why her card kept declining. I'm just like, go home.
Dude.
Come back later when you know your shit's going to work.
Dude, those memes, by the way, I fucking hate when people, it's just old people that do this. When they put a card in and then it declines, and instead of saying like, oh shit, wrong card, or instead of pulling out their phone to check their account balance, it's always, I just got this card. It's not working? And I'm like, it's not my fault.
People really come at your throats when their card declines because somehow it's your fault every time. It's like, bro, I can't control your bank account.
It's a shot to the ego. I think it's them going, I'm not broke. I can afford this. Mm-hmm. I didn't say anything. I can't afford that right now. I got $10 in the bank account. All right. I'm not saying it.
You're just like, hey, your card declined.
But no. George Carlin has a phenomenal quote about this. I just recently watched all of George Carlin's specials, and he's top 5 comedian of all time, in my opinion. But he said, contrary to popular belief, I like people, just not for an extended amount of time. He said, once you get past 3 or 4 seconds, I got to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Dude, I don't understand how people can just turn their brains off and not give a single solitary fuck about the people around them. Case in point, shopping carts. Put the shopping cart in the return. Please. And I think I've said this on this podcast. What infuriates me the most is when I see a shopping cart next to the cart return. It is next. It is in the parking space next to it.
Yep.
I'm going to try to calm down because I think I'm peaking my mic a lot, and Z's going to have to fix that. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Oh, here, I'll do you one. For not this last week, but for 2 weeks prior, every day I would go into work. I would park like across the street from the where they bring in the carts to push through for people, right?
Yeah.
I say across the street, like the little drive-through parking lot area, whatever. For a solid 2 weeks, there was always a cart right there. Not left by the dudes that are getting the carts, because it's across the way in like the no parking zone part of the way the parking lot was lined out. And it's just sitting there. Like, bro, if you sat your cart there, you could have walked the maybe 20 feet to put it with every other cart that you see that's sticking out of the little garage opening. Every time.
Listen, I'll give some advice to y'all. Bunch of y'all lazy fucks, okay? I did a lot of walking. Park close to one. There is any store you go to, there are several scattered across the parking lot. And even then, don't be a lazy fuck. I try to park close to the cart returns, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes I don't because there isn't a spot. And you know what I do? I put my hands on the cart. I see the closest cart return is maybe like 50 feet away. And I'm like, fuck. And I walk.
Guess I gotta walk.
If my 400-pound ass can walk across a Walmart parking lot in 90-degree weather, you can be a functioning member of society, you animal.
Yep. What also gets me is just people's ignorance.
Dude, last thing on the cart return. I'll let you run with that.
Go for it.
I have seen people in Kroger push their cart. You know how it's like sliding door to go into the area that has the carts and then sliding door to go outside?
Yep.
They will push it and just leave it in the lobby. Leave it in the lobby and walk out. Shot in the street. Complete hyperbole. Z, put it like right here or something, okay? Jackie doesn't mean the words he says, but I'm going to tell you right now, I mean the fucking words. I don't know how many times it's taken every fiber of my being not to sucker punch them. How are you that fucking not stupid? Why do you not think of other people?
Lazy is what it is.
Laziness, selfishness. You deserve to be chopped up and thrown in the river, swimming with the fishes.
Yep. And as I was saying earlier, like people's ignorance. Like, when I worked at FedEx, I worked for FedEx Ground. For FedEx Ground.
Yeah.
That's why people don't know. People don't know that FedEx Ground is contracted out. There's different companies that run different people that have their own style of doing things when it comes to the delivery part of it. So you ever notice on a FedEx truck, you see ground, you see express, you see freight, anything like that, right? Well, since the mergers happened, that's gotten harder. Cool. I'm delivering in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. Huh?
Well, you said mergers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Since my headphones are the way they are, I just thought you said murders. And I was like, are we just going to go past that? Oh, he said mergers. I thought you literally just said, but since the murders happened, I was like, who got killed? Who got?
No, mergers, yeah. But since that's happened, I'm in like the delivering in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. I am 45 minutes from the terminal, at least. And I get stopped by a guy who I delivered something to. And he proceeds to tell me how he's going to sue FedEx because we screwed over something for his insurance because he needed something 2 days prior.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool. He proceeds to trap me in conversation for 5 minutes in his driveway as I'm parked about how something he needed 2 days ago wasn't delivered. And his wife is going through stress because of this, everything. He was going to sue for emotional damages. Yeah.
For those of you listening to audio, I'm playing the world's smallest violin. I don't want to be disrespectful, but brother, if I'm in your shoes, Z, I'm looking him dead in the face and saying, that's crazy. I don't care.
I did. I said, that's crazy. Really? Wow. Crazy. With a smile on my face. Because for one, you could have checked your tracking information, and I know this was relevant, but you could have checked your tracking information and saw delays due to weather because the big old airplane hub in Memphis was down because they were going through some fucking storms.
Yeah.
And I get you have timelines and stuff needed, but if something gets sent by Express, you can get your fucking refund. If it doesn't meet the deadline. That's why they get on to FedEx drivers about the express deliveries. Get your fucking refund and move on. Explain that to wherever you needed this deadline met, because whoever sent it to you sent it through Express, and Express puts it on a plane. Planes have to fly through the air. If that air is fucking not flyable, they're not going to fly.
Listen, air not fly, plane no fly. Air bad, plane no fly. No. Fucking pull you back in the store real quick because this happened today.
Mm-hmm.
And my lady wanted to sock me for my reaction to this. But I hate crowded spaces. I hate it. Not just because I'm fat. Shut the fuck up, comment section. And shut the fuck up, Z, because I know in your head you're like, yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Fat boy. But I was in this aisle and I was looking for something. I was walking down and there was this lady who had turned her cart sideways, taking up half the aisle, and the other half of the aisle is her standing there looking around for stuff. How hard is it to grab your cart, shove it all the way
to be considerate
to the whatever you want to call it, the shelves. Just pin it against the shelves. And look, it's not hard. And even if you catch yourself horizontal, look left, right. Look for your item. Look left, right, like you're crossing the street. And if you see someone coming near, fix yourself. But no, she looked me dead in my face and just kept looking. And I went back, didn't grab what I needed. I just grabbed the cart and started pushing. And my lady was like, baby, like, are you okay? And I was like, oh my fucking God, this fucking stupid. And she was like, and I turned my cart in the middle of the store. I turned my cart and I was like, oh, nobody has to go by me, fucking cunt. And I pushed and she was like, settle down.
No, that's completely fair. So as I said, I work in a warehouse style store, right? Things move around. People look at shit. But I've never seen so many people that are just oblivious to the world around them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's
it's
what that lady
good
was.
For them.
Yeah, we sit in the aisle with the forklift. We have to close down 2 aisles every time we use the forklift to get something down from the shelves. You have to close down the aisle you're in and the aisle you're facing.
Yeah.
So we're in there with the forklift on one aisle. I go over to the next aisle to shut it. Lady's standing there looking at something. Cool. Wait a couple seconds. She's still standing. She's looking at paper towels. Not any paper towels, just the paper the one brand of paper towels that the store makes. So she sits there, stares at it, and I see her do this. And then she sits it the fuck back down and continues walking.
For audio listeners, he just picked up something to represent the item in question and
felt it.
I just felt it up. Felt it up real good.
Because that's all she did. She stood there for 2 minutes staring at it while me and another person on opposite sides of the aisle are standing there. Their aisle's closed. Their side of the aisle's closed. We're just waiting on her to get out. And she sees us and she just fills up the paper towels, sits them back down, and walks out of the aisle. And I'm just like, did you want them or not?
Dude, at my job, with pick carts and U-boats, there's specific places to drop them off.
Mm-hmm.
Specific places. I don't know how many times I've had to move 3. So, just to give you all visual representation for audio listeners, I'll try to explain this the best I can. There's a big open space for you to put totes on when you are done picking inside of them, okay? There's a couple more things it's used for, but that's the focus. It's a conveyor belt that stretches across the entire mod, right? It's got some ups and downs, but there is maybe 4 feet between the conveyor belt and the aisles, depending on which part of the conveyor belt you're on.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how many times pickers have just pushed the pick cart to where the front is touching the conveyor belt, dropped off their tote, and walked away, blocking the walkway.
Yep.
You are making it harder for I dispute a lot of Amazon's bullshit safety rules as like overprotective or like helicoptery or just unnecessary. But that shit, what the fuck? Why are you not thinking? Why are you being such a lazy, selfish piece of shit? It's
when
not
I worked
hard.
Indirect, I hated that. Because every time, indirect, you're everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Half the time, you're loading totes onto the conveyor. And the amount of times I've seen a specific group of people go on break, I think it might have been the pickers at this time. Because, pickers, stowers, they go on breaks at different times.
Yeah.
And if that's still a thing, I don't remember. But I would watch people come and do that exact thing and block an aisle while they're at it and walk away. And I'm just like, are you going to get that?
Dude, people will still leave entire U-boats full of totes or boxes in the middle of an aisle.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh my God. Oh my God, dude.
I don't know about you, but I was that guy that if I wasn't in the area where you pick them up and it's not completely empty, I will walk back and put it over there, take my scanner, and go on break.
It got bad enough one time where I had to go get a manager. I'm not one of those people that goes to the supervisor to snitch on someone. I'm not. But there was one time at the very end of the conveyor belt, right? Where so the conveyor belt starts off up and then it takes a little slide down to the rest of the conveyor belt so where you can put your totes on it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that upper portion, you can walk under it to get to the other side of the mod.
Yep.
And I don't know what the fuck people were doing this day, but you can put your pick cart up against the railing under that conveyor belt. You can do that. What you can't do is block the walkway. And there was about 20 pick carts all crammed into this one space, which tells me people saw 19 pick carts in this one space and said, oh, yeah, no, this is fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
My God.
No telling what they could have been thinking because, if you can't walk through it, how are you going to get out? You're going to take the long way out now?
Listen, I just get paid to do this job. I get that, right? I'm not going to do anything that they don't pay me to do. But there's a certain point where a little, I don't know, fucking consideration comes into play.
Yeah.
Oh my, yeah. I don't know how many times I've cleared that shit out. Or I've cleared out East Mod where you get U-boats to stow in the cage.
Mm-hmm.
That place gets so jumbled up because people just throw their boats everywhere. I don't know how many times I've organized that thing while stowing. I don't tell anybody because I don't do it for any fucking promotion or recognition. I just know it's going to be fucking easier for everybody if it's organized.
I hated stowing in the cage because stowing in the cage meant everybody will park their U-boats or pick carts anywhere you actually need to be.
Yep.
And it will always be in your way, and there's nothing you can do but just move it because it's going to get moved right back.
Dude, I don't know. Completely kind of related story. a couple of weeks ago, one of the first picks I had, I was in this aisle, and then 7 more pickers had like 5 or 6 items in this one aisle. So we were all trying to walk past each other to get, because we all had multiple picks in this one aisle. I was like, who the fuck made these paths? What is going on?
Blame the stowers.
But no, last thing I want to talk about in terms of fucking aggravating shit on the road. Turn on your blinker. Listen, for me, I've been driving fully. I've had my own car since 2020, March of 2020. Okay? I didn't drive in high school. Long story. Got my first car in 2020. I've been driving for 4 years. 4 years. And turning on my blinker, I don't even think about it. It's muscle memory. Every time I know I'm turning, I immediately... I don't understand. That turn signal, it's... Let me take a breath. It's because the turn signal is not for you. It's to let everybody else know, hey, I'm about to slow down. I have to turn. So being that it's for that, a lot of people are like, oh, well, doesn't affect me. I mean, I just got to turn this big ass truck to the right. Everybody just got to get the fuck out of the way. And hopefully the people behind me know I'm slowing down. You stupid fucking turn on the blinker. Yeah. Just turn it on.
It's not hard. Just today, when I was coming back home from the gym, I was going a specific route that'll take me through construction because it's the fastest way, even with the construction. So we're going through. The road is now went from a 2-lane with the turn lane in the middle to just we're driving on the turn lane coming this way while the other traffic's still going through their lane. I watched this SUV in front of me, probably going like 30, 35. Just yanked the wheel to the left. There was nothing in front of him. No, he saw his opening and he fucking took it. No blinker. And I'm just like, good blinker. Every time.
Now, I will say, I drive stupid sometimes. I ain't even gonna lie. Sometimes I pull out way too close to a car than I should, right? I underestimate it. Or I'm like, don't pull out as I'm stepping on the gas. And I hear the honks and I'm like, oh, I'm so fucking stupid. Why would I do that? Put my hand up and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, brother. That's on me. My bad. Yeah. But I'll admit to you, I drive like an asshole. And it's because I was door dashing in Nashville for so long. If you are driving in the city, anybody that's from I always get them confused. Rural is not city, right? Rural is like suburb
rural
shit.
Is not city.
Okay.
No, suburbs is suburb. Rural is rural.
Suburb, rural, anybody from those places, if you've never driven in the city, you got to drive like an asshole or you're not going anywhere.
That's how I learned my driving too.
So like in traffic now, if I'm getting off a ramp, I am getting as far as I can. I am going until that ramp ends. And as soon as I see a little sliver, I just inch my way up there. And even if I see that car behind me moving forward, trying to push me in, I'm like, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. We playing chicken and I'm going to win, motherfucker. Don't do I know you don't want to fuck up that car. I know you don't want, I got my blinker on. I'm trying to get in. I know you don't want to fuck up that car. I drive like a dick sometimes.
Does not give you the right of way.
Yes, it does. That's what the blinker means. That means, motherfucker, I'm coming. Get out of the way.
I grew up in Murfreesboro, driving through their 5 o'clock traffic since 2017, and it's not gotten any better, even though they've literally added a bridge.
No, it's just getting worse.
Yeah, and it's just that's how I've always learned to drive. I can drive in Nashville like I'm driving in Murfreesboro because you got to drive like an asshole. Here, people don't know how to drive. It's like every day there's some stupid shit that I see on the road, and I'm just like, bro, go home and let somebody else drive.
That's because you live around a bunch of hicks that are like, yeah, boy.
Like that car earlier, the old lady almost running a red light like yesterday. I watched one day when I was going to work at FedEx. I know I just cut myself off there, but one day when I was going to work at FedEx.
Hey, you still have to do it about 2 million more times before you caught up to me.
But I'm driving in the morning. It's 6 a.m. I think it's a Saturday because I was working that day, of course. Driving, going down this road. 4 stoplights is what I got to go through. Stoplight number 2 is the one that everybody knows and hates because for some reason on the main road of travel, that stoplight will be red unless there's a car there. Most stoplights are usually green if that's the main road. But that one's red. I watched a car stop, sit there for a minute, run it. It's like, I commend your bravery because cops usually sit right after this red light. Guess you got lucky, no cop was there. Cool. I work, come back home, same, not even the same stoplight. The stoplight after that, on my way back home, I see another car, pull up, stop, run it. It's like 2 in a day. Cool.
I will say, if I'm coming home from work a little early, it's going to be like 4 in the morning, and there is a red light that usually takes forever. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to count to 10. If I don't see any cars, I'm going. I'm going. That's a stoplight at 4 in the morning. Or that's a dumbass. Dumbass.
If it's on the road that your house is on, I think I know which light you're talking about because I did get stopped at it on my way back.
It's getting off 840.
Yep, that's the one. Yep. I was stuck there for like 5 minutes.
But no, it's a stop sign to me. 12 a.m. to 5 a.m., that's a stop sign. That's not a stoplight.
I always sit at the stoplights except for this one time when it was probably 2 a.m. and I just completed my 80-mile drive back here from Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
I sat there for like a minute and was just like, there is literally not a single car on the road. Why is it still red? Yeah, it stayed red. I made it through.
I did it
in Mexico.
I can't tell you how my anger issues have gotten better. It used to be a lot worse, but they flare up. And one of the times they flare up is if I'm driving down the road and I see a light turning yellow. So I slow down, come to a stop, and it turns green, and I look left and I look right, and there's nobody. Nobody. And I'm like, why? Why did it turn red?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I just sit there, steaming.
That's what light number 1 does that I talked about in my story. That's exactly what it does. It'll sit green until you get pulling up to it, and it'll turn red.
But I'll tell a story that perfectly encapsulates me being an asshole driver. Okay? I was driving to work, and let me tell you something. I leave a little early just in case anything happens. Car breaks down, extra traffic. Anything happens, I leave probably 20 minutes before I should.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have time to play. Don't have this mindset on the road.
Don't follow what he's going to say he's doing here.
People who do this. Can we stop this? Can we stop going bumper to bumper when I'm already going 15 miles per hour over the speed limit? Can we stop that? Can we knock that shit off?
If you want to slow down to the speed limit.
If you want to play fucking Speed Racer, I'm going to get to it. If you want to play fucking Speed Racer, lane switch, go. Don't chill behind. This is what happened. I'm driving and I'm chilling, and I see this big ass SUV approaching quickly. I'm already going 80 miles per hour. Approaching quickly, right? But I smile to myself. I laugh because I am on the furthest left lane, and the only thing next to me is a semi truck, and behind that semi truck is another car. You know what's gonna happen. So this SUV comes all the way up, sniffing my car's ass. So I ease off the gas a little bit. They don't like that. They start swerving. They start flashing their lights, honking their horn, and I let off the gas a little more. Now, they can't go anywhere unless they want to slow all the way down. So, but to make sure that they don't have that thought, I speed up and pass the cabin of the truck Just enough to where they're like, oh, he's going to pass it. But then I'll just not. I'll just not pass the cabin.
I absolutely hate you as a driver now.
Dude, oh my God. They got furious. I looked in the rearview mirror and I saw him going. And I'm like, you deserve that. Do not sniff my ass when I'm already going 10, 15 miles per hour over the speed limit, or you're going to get shit like that. I left 20 minutes early and my car's running fine. Traffic looks great. I'm going to fuck with you.
Now, we're coming up on an hour, but I'll get one last car story out. So I had to travel to Memphis for work, or almost Memphis. I had to travel to Jackson for work one week. And on our way there, we're in our rented box trucks.
Hell yeah.
And they are speed capped at 65 miles an hour. So we're on, I think this is probably 24, I want to say. No, it's not. It's just, I think it's still 40 at this point.
Okay.
But we're on this road, on this highway. We're going 65. Me and another box truck, because we were riding together. We both had our own trucks. He's coming up on this car fast. We're going 65 in a 70.
Yeah.
Cool. We go to pass them, and they speed up to match our speed. We're riding like that for like 10 miles. This little car comes up behind us and starts flashing their lights. And I'm like, my only option is to slow down so you can pass. So do you really want me to do that?
When you're on my ass?
Yeah, when you're on my ass. And I'm just looking in the rearview. I'm just like, there's nothing I can do to make this situation better. So I'm going to fuck with you now because I still have like an hour into this drive before I make it to our Airbnb. So for a solid probably 2 miles, they're behind me, flashing their lights, waving their hands. And I'm just like, I can't go any faster than 65. I don't know what you would like me to do. You should be being mad at this car in the slow lane that's pacing us.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
It's so funny. And eventually, I think they went behind that car and then rode the shoulder to pass us all. And I'm just like, nice. And I stayed in that left lane for a minute until that car decided to finally slow down.
Let me tell you all to end off this episode. We ranted a lot about stupid, dumbass people. Mm-hmm. I'll be the first to admit I'm a stupid dumbass. I'm a stupid dumbass. But I'm aware of the world. Can we please fucking knock it off? And when you get called out on it, don't be a cunt about it. Don't be a cunt about it. Just say like, yeah, my fault. I'm stupid. And move on. It's not that hard. It's people take themselves way too seriously. My ancestors came out right there. People take themselves way too goddamn seriously.
All right, Bubba.
But with that, thank y'all for tuning in to Red Light Homies. We much, much, much appreciate it. Rocking out with 51 subscribers at the time of recording. Killing it on the shorts. Not really much the TikToks. TikTok is like, you want views. That's cute.
That's funny.
But episodes out every Monday, 12 p.m. Central Time, whatever time that is in your time zone. Make sure you tune in every single Monday. Shorts come out every day with clips coming out Wednesdays and Fridays. If I'm not a lazy fuck about it, which I am sometimes, and I do apologize about that. Follow all the social medias. Where are they, Z?
We got, of course, you're watching on YouTube, or if you're not watching, you're listening on either Spotify, Amazon, or Apple Music. We're everywhere.
I want to see how many people tap their screen like, what the fuck? But as always, make sure y'all like, rate, and share the show, especially rating and especially sharing. That is the most important things. Click that little curved arrow to share it around. Or if you wake up, you're sleep paralyzed, you see your little shadow demon in the corner, and he's like, yo, I'm trying to up my game on the podcast. That's not a good demon voice. Yo, I'm trying to up my game. I should just do it ironically. Hey there, buddy. I'm looking for a new podcast. What do they tell him, Z?
I tell him, you can go listen to the boys Jackie and Z over at Red Light Homies. They got your back. And please find the pot of gold somewhere.
I'm going to get me Lucky Charms, huh? I don't know why he turned into Mickey Mouse. That was Red Light Homies. The homies Jackie and Z, and we'll see you all next Monday.
Peace out.